is, of course, an issue that is dividing the Indian diaspora in Britain: caste discrimination. Now, the UK government has called for a public opinion on whether caste discrimination is an issue in the UK and whether it should be tackled through a new legislation. Now, human rights groups are also pushing for the government to ban the practice in the public sphere, while other Hindu groups say that caste simply does not exist in Britain. So what exactly is the truth? WION's London Bureau Chief Mandy Clark has the story.
Keval Bhadaria was born and raised in Britain, but it was when he wanted to marry a girlfriend of 5 years, he faced caste discrimination.
That she was that upset, that distraught, that her daughter would marry someone of low caste, leading a successful life in London. That she would even utter those words, that I would rather slit my wrists than for you to marry this man.
They decided to break up rather than upset her family. But for those in the lowest caste, the Dalits, the problem is much greater according to Caste Watch UK. An estimated 500,000 people from the Dalit caste live in Britain. In one case, a Dalit woman was hired to work as a nanny and was paid 14 cents an hour and treated as a slave by a higher caste family. She took them to the court and won. It was the first case involving caste discrimination in the UK. Dipen Rajaguru is with the Hindu Council UK. He says they oppose all forms of abuse, but argues that the current legislation is strong enough and would cover all cases of discrimination and highlighting caste as an issue.
There is no issue of caste, and there's marriage in castes and in communities and out of communities. There's no issue of it. So this legislation can be seen as quite insidious in the sense that it's creating this caste consciousness where people who had no issue of it, particularly the young.
There are also concerns the UK government doesn't want to push the new law forward, out of concern it might embarrass India or upset the 800,000 strong Hindu community here in Britain.
But Keith Portis Wood with the National Secular Society disagrees.
The idea that it's also an anti-Hindu exercise is ridiculous. The word Hindu doesn't appear in the legislation, and we're happy to acknowledge that it applies to several religions. And if there isn't any discrimination, then those people who fear it have nothing to fear, because there won't be any cases.
For Keval, he has no doubt that the law is the best way to stop caste discrimination.
If you just go into South Asian communities across the country and talk to people, it's very obvious, it's very overt that it exists. And to say that it doesn't exist is abhorrent. I think it's really dangerous. It's something that I can't fathom.
The government has extended the consultation period until September 18th. After that, it'll make a final call. With Mandy Clark in London, this is Zara Khan for WION.